visionary leader, Britain.
Imagine yourself standing here at a Tiger Tails Toastmasters meeting. As you look at the audience, you see people not only from Tiger Tails, but from all over Rochester and even other Toastmasters clubs. There is not a single seat in the room that is empty, and people are waiting outside to listen to you speak. Imagine Tiger Tails becoming a club where people know how to be vulnerable. They know how to open up their heart. And they know how to connect with other hearts. Were you able to see that picture in your mind? That is my vision of what I want Tiger Tails Toastmasters to be. A vision is a mental picture of what an organization can aspire to become. The vision sets a clear, focused series of steps that the organization can do to reach a specific destination. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and all guests. The title of today's talk is The Visionary Leader. Everyone in this room has the capacity to become a leader. I believe being a leader is a lot like being a parent. Everyone has the capacity to become a parent. However, that does not mean everyone wants to become a parent or everyone should be a parent. Similarly, everyone has the capacity to lead, but that does not mean everyone wants to lead or should lead. I want to talk to you about a visionary leader I had the privilege of working with for over 20 years. My father. My father was leading a team of 3 people. My mother, my elder brother, and me. His vision statement was, I want to educate my children and give everything I can to help them achieve what they want. A characteristic of this vision statement was, firstly, it was very, very clear. It was very clear to us that he wanted us to get educated and do what we wanted. Secondly, it was challenging, especially for me. Since childhood, I had a learning disability, which meant that it took me much more time to learn something than most children of my age. As a result, the children in my school who were getting promoted to the next class, I was getting demoted to the previous class. My parents thought something was wrong with the school. They took me out of that school and put me into a new school. However, soon they found out the problem was not with the school. It was with me. My mother, in that situation, like any responsible mother would, freaked out. She would smack me and start crying. I don't think my son is going to become anything in life. My father would sit in the corner and say, Hakuna Matata. I just cried that he will do something in life. However, the struggle was hard for me. And one day, one of my teachers came up to me and told me, Preelam, is it you don't understand what you're studying, or you don't want to understand what you're studying? I had no answer to that. I stood up, walked out of the room, and broke down in tears. I struggled, failed, and somehow made it through school. When the time came for me to go to college, my father told me, son, what do you think about going to an engineering college? I said, Dad, are you alright? You have seen how I have struggled and how I have failed through school, and you want me to go to an engineering college? My father said, son, I have seen you fail. I have seen you struggle, but I have never seen you give up. I know if you keep at it, one day you will make it. Today, it's very hard for me to believe, after all that happened in my childhood, that I am trying to get a PhD. The third characteristic that a visionary leader has, and my father's vision statement had, is that it's always oriented towards the people the leader is leading. My father was leading my brother too, and my brother wanted to become a doctor. However, during that time, getting into a medical college was very challenging in India because there were so few colleges and there were so many people trying to get into those colleges. My brother tried and tried and tried for 4 years to get into a medical college, but he could not. During that time, he not only lost a lot of time, but also got very depressed and lonely. My father, at that time, never told him, stop trying to get into a medical college. Instead, he told him, I am with you in whatever you do. However, why don't you also try to get into an engineering college? Eventually, my brother became an engineer, and now he is handling enormous projects in the oil and gas industry in the Middle East. A very important characteristic of visionary leaders is that they communicate their vision all the time. My father worked in the police department. That meant that he always was taking orders from someone. And I didn't like my father taking orders. I told him, Dad, why do you always have to take orders? Why are you not in a position to give orders? My father said, well, it's not that bad to take orders because you don't have to make any decisions. However, it matters how you give orders so that you don't hurt other people. I told him, I never want to grow up and be in a position that I have to take orders from someone. My father said, well, it's important that if you don't want to give orders, that you don't give orders. If you don't want to give orders, you have to be a leader. And to become a leader, you have to struggle. You have to learn. And you have to educate yourself. You have to love the people you're leading. You have to care for the people you're leading. And you have to work with the people you're leading. It's only then that you will not receive any orders, and also you will not get any orders. If you want to become a leader with a vision, it's important that you have a vision that is very clear, focused, and sets a direction for where the organization you are leading wants to go to. It's also important that you always communicate the vision with the people you are leading. And my fathers did not only meant what he was saying, he showed it through his words and his actions. Every time I was failing, or my brother was struggling, or my mother was freaking out, he was there to say, I am with you. I know Toastmasters.